just make sure this is running before I do our introductions, because I am an amateur. Anyone see that Jaden versus Ben thing, by the way?
Oh, you mean the trailer?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, it's
good to
sick so
see.
far.
Good to see the other versus shows getting funding.
It does make me curious how Jade and Yuki's power functions.
I think we're live anyway.
Oh, are we live?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, we are.
You can hear us and everything. Hello. Welcome to MTCast number 3. Jaden, just to clear this up real quick, he had absorbed the power of an alien and fused with it. So he absorbed the. Why do I hear myself?
Sorry.
It's coming through Zoro.
So he
I was trying
absorbs
to
the
focus
power of
way
an
back.
alien, and then he can make his cards real, essentially. And, like, he doesn't need to use a shadow game or whatever you want to call it.
So he just summons them like Pokemon.
Correct.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Right then.
Alright. This is NTCast. Why is it buffering on my end? You better fucking work, stream. Fun fact, every time we stream this on the Plinth channel, it buffers and it has some sort of issue halfway through. Whenever I stream anything else on any other channel, it never has issues. But welcome to NTCast number 3. We got a bunch of people. For the first time in one of these casts, we got Saul. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. It's me, your local guy. I don't know. I do stuff.
I have not played Deltarune, so I have no idea what I'm looking at on your screen right now.
Don't worry about it. If you haven't played, it makes it even better.
Yeah, same.
We got the brisk and beautiful Santi Sherm over here.
Ah, yes, it is me.
And we got Zoro, the person who pitched Cell versus Dio Bormon, who had the gall to shit talk other matches up in his pitch. How you doing?
Okay, hold on. First off, don't say matches. I mentioned one.
I know.
Okay. Like, I didn't even shit talk. Okay, just leave me alone.
All right, and we got some Kingdom Hearts matchups to discuss.
I will say Michael Brent has brought up Sora versus Twilight Sparkle in the chat, which I do like, and is both a matchup triangle with what we're about to look at. I personally
didn't know I needed to bring up
I
the
think
alcohol so quickly.
As someone who doesn't watch My Little Pony, is Twilight Sparkle the one that fought Raven, or am I?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. How does that work, Sherm?
How does it work?
How does Sora versus Twilight Sparkle work?
We've already gotten off track.
I know, but I'm trying to think of it, and I'm trying to think of what I saw in the death battle, and if that stuff is completely outdated now, I'm just not...
Well, Twilight is stronger than Discord by the end of the series, so for what that'll tell you.
Fair enough. I wanted to start with this one because this is the one I got the most requests to talk about. Like, the most people that brought it up was Sora versus Sailor Moon. As someone who's played Kingdom Hearts and someone who's read the manga for Sailor Moon, I'm very curious what the appeal is. Like, as a Sailor Moon matchup, I get it, but as a Sora matchup, I'm trying to understand all the connections.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange one. I don't really know Sailor Moon. I'm assuming there's got to be a list of connections, right?
Yeah. Well, this is a weird one for me because, like, I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. It's one of my favorite video game series. I've never seen Sailor Moon, and yet I'm a fan of this matchup.
I like this thumbnail.
Oh, yeah. Like,
the thumbnail is beautiful.
From what I could tell, like, the main connections are that they are young, plucky teenage protagonists who series revolves around lunar objects being Kingdom Hearts, and obviously Sailor Moon being, like, the Sailor Scout of representing the moon, and that they are just very optimistic protagonists and fight with the power of friendship.
I'm about to say something that's gonna make it sound very generic, but trust me, this connection is actually kind of specific, in that they both kind of represent hope and light very literally, and not just in like the Goku is really strong and he beats the villain and that's why he represents hope. Like they represent hope and light in like a fundamental fashion to their universe.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that is true.
I saw the
beacons of light in the darkness.
I saw the animation trailer Sun made for this. I think it was like a week ago at this point, and I was like, okay, I get it. I've seen some, without saying anything, someone else is also making their own like little trailer. I think it was for a commission for this as well, and I've seen some stuff with that, and I'm like, okay, I can see their power sets bouncing off each other real nicely. I just don't want to see the other kill the other one. That's just my thing. Like,
yeah.
At least with like, I don't know, like, never mind. We're gonna get to other matchups later, and I can explain then. I don't want to spend
This matchup is very good. I just don't think any of us are particularly qualified to talk on its strong points.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because, like, in my opinion, Sora doesn't have too many good matchups, and this is like, I'm not familiar with Sailor Moon, but I do like the connections I have heard about it, so it's kind of like my preferred by default.
It does do that every freaking time.
Apparently, me and Plime are quiet.
Speak up, lads.
I'll turn my game.
Are we quiet in the VC as well, or is that just on stream?
I think you guys sound fantastic. I can turn everyone up, though. Turn up for what?
You guys sound fine on my end. Must be stream. Speak from the diaphragm!
No, you're fine on my end. I don't know. Well, I mean, you're muted now.
Turn down for what?
He says on stream. I can't.
When I ask if we're quiet in the VC or on stream, I appreciate your desire to participate, but you saying quiet on the stream does not actually answer any of our questions, because that's the only audio you have access to.
Hold on. I can easily just... let me just turn up my phone real quick.
We're quiet in the VC or on stream. I appreciate your desire.
I mean, I hear you. You seem fine. Maybe just turn your gain up a little bit. I don't know. I can't up you and not the others. Unless...
La 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 la.
Well, I can up you. Okay, let me just up you to 120. Let's see how that works.
I am now the loudest.
Maybe that'll help.
This might just be a you thing, Rand, to be fair. Anyway, we should probably talk about the next matchup, right?
Sora versus Rex. I can't remember who did this. I think it was Dario that suggested this one. I'm going to be honest. I am not too versed in Xenoblade 2. It's kind of the one it kind of just passed me by. I played 1, I played X, and 3. I never actually played 2. But from what I understand is there's a lot of connections with them as characters, and this is one of the only matchups where Sora can really like flex all his Kingdom Hearts Keyblades within the fight, because he gets a bunch of them in Kingdom Hearts 3, and they all have different types of abilities, and Rex can switch out his whatever they call those Monados in Kingdom Hearts 2.
They just call them...
Sorry, Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade 2. But they have a shit ton of abilities. They can bounce off each other. The scaling is crazy. I'm not going to say it's close, but they both definitely do have crazy scaling.
Can we get Chicken Little in the fight?
I will allow you to write Chicken Little in a Kingdom Hearts fight.
Yeah! Oh, Chicken Little will be entering any Kingdom Hearts fight I write with Sora.
Does Sora need Donald Goofy for the summons, or is it just the forms from Kingdom Hearts 2 he needs Donald Goofy?
I think it's just the forms, I believe.
It's just the forms.
Yeah.
Which are
and even
now,
then, in like Kingdom Hearts 3, he can just access the strongest one. So
can we get Stitch in this fight? You're getting Chicken Little, or you're getting nothing.
Oh my! Out of all the summons, you picked the worst
I might
one.
actually. I might extend it to Genie because Genie kind of carried me through Kingdom Hearts 1.
Genie was the only way you can do certain shit in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This matchup, I can't immediately think of what the core theme would be, but from what I know of both, like their stories have a lot of similar beats and overlaps.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like,
it's
they got the same like rivals, organization, leitmotif, friendships, people dying. There's a lot of like, without going too heavy into spoilers, I think their storylines have a lot of parallels.
Yeah, I think personally, I think this is probably my preferred for Sora, just for the animation potential. But that could also change if I were to learn more about Xenoblade 2.
I think I'm a little more on the Sailor Moon side of things out of these two we've seen so far. But
yeah,
this is also good.
Yeah, like, I would definitely be okay if this happened. Like, it's a really good ult for Sora. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm missing something because I haven't played Xenoblade 2, but I am aware of, like, some of the main beats, and, like, the animation potential could be crazy, but I don't think the connections are particularly strong between them.
I'd have to play the game, but you did give me a great segue, Zoro. You said something about there not being a lot of good beats, right? They're like, you don't know if they have good beats.
Yeah, yeah, like the beats.
Hello.
Who's asking for beat on that? Whose favorite Dragon Ball character is Beat?
So I added this because this is a thumbnail that, that Nuke made, and that he shared with us, and I was just like, okay, that's funny. I'm gonna add that, and I honestly think this might be close, which is the funniest shit in the world. But you'd have to give Beat everything.
I am very much just not interested in this one.
I don't blame you. I don't. It's who wants
like,
Beat of all Dragon characters, but
it's just like, how much do I want it?
Imagine if we got Beat in to like a versus show before we got Cell in an episode.
Before Piccolo, before Gohan, we got Beat.
Yeah,
it would be crazy if Beat was the one and only Dragon Ball character we covered. That would be great.
I would prefer seeing Shallot over Beat.
That would be very funny.
All right, that was for a gaff. We can move on from this one quick.
Yeah.
Oh god, what's his canon name? Makoto from Persona 3.
Oh, from Persona 3.
Yeah. First of all, like the thumbnail, I wish I need to start crediting the thumbnails I take, because now I feel like a scumbag for not doing so. But this is interesting. It's not my preferred for Makoto, but I think it could be cool thematically, although their personalities are very different.
If anything, I think that just makes the thematics great, just because it's like two very similar characters' journeys and their stories, you know, as of Kingdom Hearts 3, do kind of wrap up similarly, but it's be interesting to just see like this kind of more reserved kind of take with Makoto, just like clash against Sora, who's like the embodiment of like a golden retriever.
Who the hell was Roger?
I would have thought the Makoto matchup for Kingdom Hearts thing would have been Roxas.
That's what I thought at first, but I can also understand this one.
Yeah, like, yeah, if you know how Persona 3 ends, there are definitely a few parallels between his and Sora's journey that I will not go into too many details about for those who haven't played either series, but I get I see the vision. Not my preferred, but like I would definitely be interested to see how this plays out.
Question: if we ever do a Persona matchup, how many? I almost called them stands. Oh my god, how many Personas are we using?
I'd want to use at least 3. At least 3, preferably 5.
That means we need to give Sora 3 summons, 3 to 5 summons. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we get Stitch, right? I'm thinking we get Chicken Little, okay? I'm thinking we get a musical number with Ariel at some point, all right? I think that would be great.
Oh, veto.
No, veto. Look, if we give Sora anything, like, we can give him one summon, but I'd love for him to bust out at least, like, we could swap out that for different gimmicks, like, bring out a Valor form, bring out a flippin', like, Keyblade transformation from 3, you know, get a wide variety of powers, like... But I would not oppose for one summoning coming out, just as long as it's not Ariel or Chicken Little.
Also, someone, I think it was Dario, had said that Sora doesn't actually need Donald or Goofy for the transformations. It's just a gameplay thing, so we could still do that. But again, it doesn't really matter because Kingdom Hearts 3 just kind of lets him have those forms.
Well, like, I think the only one he has in 3 is Master Form, which doesn't matter because it's still the strongest one.
I'm pretty sure he has a version of Final Form. I could be wrong about that. With the Ultima weapon.
That's what I'm talking about. Did I say Master Form?
Yeah.
I meant to say Final Form. I get those two mixed up so much.
Wow. A Kingdom Hearts stream and you don't even know your Kingdom Hearts. That's crazy.
If we're doing...
Okay, when you call one Master and one Final, like...
If we're doing this Battle Banter style, can we also do, like, thumbnail critique? Because I have thoughts on this one.
Oh, go ahead. You can say whatever.
I think that Makoto looks great. I think Sora, with this particular render, is not well served by this background. I think they blend in too much. I think it would have, maybe, it would have served them to mess with the saturation on this Sora render, or maybe just gone with a different background, or just change the background for Sora's side.
Is that the same background for both sides? Because it looks like they have different moons behind them, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, they do have different moons behind them. One's like the Persona 3 Tartarus moon, the other is Kingdom Hearts.
That could just be the background from the artwork from the first game. I'm not sure though. I couldn't tell you. Because it's the artwork.
Wait, if you're combining two. But yeah, but like if you're combining two different backgrounds, why would you take two versions of Kingdom Hearts?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. We're off of Sora now. Don't even bring up his fucking name anymore, okay? We're now on the... Who is that? Riku matchup.
I think you threw out the wrong name.
This is probably Riku. The most popular one I saw. Riku versus Sasuke, I think his name is.
Sasuke.
I know his name.
I think he's just Sasuke. The E is silent.
It's fun. I don't know how Riku gets past just looking at him and being trapped in an illusion forever.
Yeah, there's clearly such a stomp on Sasuke's side that there's really just no debate to be had, am I right?
Exactly. I was reading up and I agree with the outerversal Naruto arguments. So I don't know what Riku's supposed to do there. Like everyone in what is that game called? Everyone in Jump Force scales up, so they fought a guy who viewed their worlds as manga.
To actually talk about the matchup legitimately, I think that ignoring stats, there's a lot of interesting kind of play between their various abilities. And I think if there was a matchup to even, like, discuss the notion of Universal Naruto, which I personally think that there's a little bit of merit in that kind of chain scaling, I think this would be the matchup to talk about it. Be like, alright, is Sasuke universal? Maybe there's some reason Momoshiki, Ishiki, Kaguya, why they might arguably be universal character based on some things. And if they are, how does that change this debate? It really doesn't, but it's just kind of like this would be the matchup to talk about it. Like, you're not going to bring up universal Naruto when he's fighting Hiei or something.
I also think a lot of people back in the day used to compare Sora and Naruto. I think comparatively, Riku and Sasuke have better connections as well.
Oh, yeah. Like, thematically, they both have really strong connections for each other, and this is kind of why I'm leaning towards it as, like, one of my preferred Riku matchups, just because, you know, they both have, like, the swordsman thing going on. They have the darkness thing falling into it with the darkness transformation, but then bouncing back towards the light. albeit Sasuke does it a lot later in the series than Riku does, but like they both have a really noticeable arc, and honestly, like Naruto and Kingdom Hearts just in general has like a lot of good like parallel matchups with each other.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
I think of any Naruto Kingdom Hearts matchup, this is the one that makes the most sense to me to do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I think there's one that I think has a stronger connection coming up that I prefer as a Naruto Kingdom Hearts matchup, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Don't tell me I forgot about it.
Riku versus Illidan.
I swear.
I was hoping this was the right character.
All right.
I don't know anything about WoW.
So I think this one is cool. I think debate-wise, it's one of the more interesting Kingdom Hearts matchups, because I think the WoW cosmology and the Kingdom Hearts cosmology are very comparable. So I think, unlike a lot of other Kingdom Hearts matchups where they do kind of stomp in stats no matter what, I think this is one where like stats are almost equal, so you would just kind of go into like their various abilities, which I think is cool. And I also like the connections. I think there are some good connections between them. I think that they both kind of got that Warrior of Light beginning, but then they kind of embrace the power of darkness. And then their stories are kind of ending with like, they accept the darkness within them and utilize it, but they still fight for the light in the universe. And I think that is pretty cool. I think that this fight would have cool animation, has cool thematics, cool debate. Basically everything I like about a matchup, this has it. I don't know why everyone keeps trying to make Illidan fight someone that's like mountain level or lower.
Who did people try
Probably
to
just because
fight Illidan fight in the tournament? Was he in the Tournament of Champions one year, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, he fought a Genshin Impact character.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
like
I can
Genshin,
get that. Honestly, like, I think this is a really good Riku ult. Like, I'm not too familiar with WoW, so I can't really, like, go into detail, but it sounds like they have a really good arc, and I definitely like matchups where it's more about how the abilities interact rather than, like, one guy sheer forcing their way through just through stats. So I think it would be very interesting debate.
I think the community as a whole has come to Stomps not necessarily being a bad thing, which I'm glad we've come to. But at the same time, I do really like it when stats are similar. That gives it like a little extra nudge into being good for me.
I think of course. There's merit in a fun debate, but that does like just because something doesn't have that much of a debate doesn't mean it's a waste of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if the matchup is obvious, just if the thematics are strong enough and there's like potential for like a cool fight or a cool story to be told with the characters, like it could, those are the aspects that'll shine over than just like the debatability. But having debatability is definitely always a plus.
I think this is fine, but I want to see Riku fight a knight. Oh, wait. Never mind. Wrong matchup. Who the hell is this? Fuck.
Oh, it's Magic.
Magic. Shit, I got the order of matchups wrong. Never mind. It was supposed to be the one after this one. Magic. I don't know. I am a casual Marvel goer. I have no idea who this is.
She is a mutant that became the ruler of a version of Hell. And then became the Dark Child.
Well, yeah, she became the ruler of Limbo.
Yeah. Which is kind of like Hell, but not really.
What is the connecting tissue?
I believe from what I know, the connection tissue is just kind of dark, lonesome anti-heroes who are corrupted by antagonist forces.
Yep. And then coming back from said darkness, using it in order to become heroes again, while also wielding very powerful blade-like objects.
Yeah, it's also like them having close relationships with individuals who they get lost from before being sent to another world and getting corrupted by that figure.
Is she like a villain, or is she like Riku?
Not like Riku, yeah.
Yeah, like
I think she was like the people of Limbo were trying to like groom her into being like an evil conqueror, but then she just didn't.
Well, it was kind of that, but it was also Belasco as well, who is a I mean, his literal full name is Belasco of the Corrupted.
I think there's also a sibling connection with this one, like.
Yeah, like, it's not a specific sibling connection. It's more the relationships between like Riku, Sora, and Kairi, and Magic's relationship with like Colossus and stuff.
Yeah, because they were like separated from them when they were brought into Limbo in the other place, and then they reunited with them.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, if I was more familiar with like Marvel comics and like an avid reader, this would probably be my number one, but this is like a close number 2 Riku matchup.
It's really cool. Magic just kind of has another matchup I'm a big fan of.
I see.
What's the Magic matchup you like?
Magic versus Karlach from Baldur's Gate.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a good
that's a really cool one, but like I wouldn't mind also doing this. I think this is definitely one I would be interested in. Like, Magic's cool. She's definitely someone I would want to read into, and I would be fine. Like, I think you could do a really fun fight here. Yeah, Magic has a pretty good spread. Also, it helps that Magic is a dedicated sword fighter as well.
Oh yeah,
I really like that Magic versus Nero from DMC. That's kind of what I'm super into.
Magic also has like a couple of hacks that let her like play off of stuff. You know, she's able to like teleport, reflect attacks. She can summon things as well. She can create force fields, fire magical bolts. So she has enough to play off of like Riku's Keyblade magic stuff. You know, this is a fun one actually.
Can't she also summon demons?
Actually, this is probably my preferred.
Yeah.
Before it was Riku Sasuke, but after hearing this, I'm like, this sounds awesome.
It's really cool.
I'd love to see Magic in general appear on the show, just because, like, she's like a really cool X-Men character, like very different from like what you typically see from it. So, like, would love to see her appear and just to expose her to more people.
I keep laughing at Crocation's comment when he says, "All I know about Magic is sometimes she's annoying to fight in Rivals," and I'm like, "Isn't that every character in Rivals?"
I was literally about to say, isn't that like 99% of the cast? Oh, here we go.
That was my night lead up before. I got the order wrong. This was my night.
Sherm, you're fired.
Okay, so I have thoughts on this matchup.
Okay, I can't wait to hear them.
I used to be a very big defender of this matchup in particular because I didn't care about Riku and I really liked Meta Knight. Okay. So here's the logic. Meta Knight, you want a good matchup for him. The most popular is Zero. I'm like, all right, what else does he have? And I'm looking at Riku, and I'm like, Riku versus Meta Knight seems to have everything Zero versus Meta Knight has, but it's also debatable. And that was basically like the whole thing. It was like, if you like Zero, you should also like this because it's the same thing, but also it's debatable. And like that logic still kind of holds up. And maybe it's a fine Meta Knight matchup if you don't need anything deep and thematic from Meta Knight, but that doesn't actually make it a good Riku matchup.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this one. It's fine. I get what you can do for like a fight, but I feel like it's pretty surface level for Riku and stuff.
You can't really expand on Riku's story that well, I don't think.
Yeah, not in this. Like, you know, Kirby does have lore and stuff, but I mean, like, I don't think I'm gonna
have a Batwing motif though, so
I don't. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be ruffling any feathers when I say Magic and Sasuke are kind of deeper characters than Meta Knight, and you can create like a more thematic analysis with those two.
Yeah. Riku doesn't even have the Batwing motif anymore. Now his Keyblade is a flippin' card key.
Which is funny.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, this matchup lost connections over time.
You can go into space with this matchup. Ooh. Space. Cecil?
Yep, Cecil from Final Fantasy IV. I know this character because I beat Final Fantasy IV. I think
I see the visuals. Oh, Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, I think the big connecting tissue is the use of their, their stories, obviously, and the use of their dark forms. I know Riku kind of may not have access to all of his dark abilities like he used to, but Cecil has his big fuck off dark form. I think as long as you don't live in America, I can't remember what the deal with the American censorship of that game. But Cecil does have like a dark form that people usually compare to Riku's power set, and I think
did he get this in the sequel?
Huh?
Yeah, like
I don't remember his dark form, but did he get like a dark form in the sequel?
So in the American version, am I thinking of the right character? This is the guy from Final Fantasy IV, right?
Yeah, the main protagonist of 4.
Yeah, so in America, they made the game a lot easier, and they changed a lot of gameplay aspects. And one of the things they changed was they took out a dark form he has, which is why people got confused. Yeah, it's like a big dark suit of armor.
Like he starts off as like a dark knight, but then he completely changes his class.
So, in the original Japanese game, the way it worked is that after a few turns, there would be like a berserk mode or something like that. And I think either you didn't have control of the character or he had a limited moveset or something like that. But they deemed it too hard in America, so they switched it. If you've ever played Dissidia and you've played as Cecil, you would know that he has 2 different movesets. One when he's normal light form, when he's in a dark form. And it completely changes up his moveset.
I think the only thing with like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy is such a weird combination for me because Final Fantasy is a part of Kingdom Hearts, you know?
Yeah.
And especially when you have a lot of like, like Sora just beat up Sephiroth on 2 different occasions. It kind of like it kills a lot of the interest for me personally. I know this is Final Fantasy IV. But still, it still feels like a weird combination for me.
I think the only Final Fantasy characters that show up in Kingdom Hearts are ones that Nomura designed, so I'm a little more favorable for the ones from... Well, I know Nomura did work on Final Fantasy IV, but, like, still. He didn't make any of the characters. And in that case, I think it's more acceptable than, like, doing, like, Riku versus Sephiroth or something like that. Yeah, Sora didn't actually beat Sephiroth, we know. Sephiroth just... Like, also, it's not the same Sephiroth, so...
Yeah, like, I see the vision, but, like, I don't know. Like, Riku's other opponents just have a lot more going for them that, like, if we were to include Riku on the show, I don't see what this matchup brings that other matchups don't do, but better.
Yeah.
Those plus
I think you're lying to me.
I think I'm lying to you.
I cannot find anything about Cecil having some kind of berserk state after a certain amount of turns.
Hold on. Do I want to really look this up right now?
I've been looking it up for like 10 minutes. I can't find nothing.
I haven't even been talking about this for 10 minutes.
I've been looking it up for as long as we've been talking about it. Can anyone in the chat confirm, does Cecil have some dark mode we're aware of?
I'll send you an image over Discord right now of what it looks like. I can get the specifics after because I don't want to waste time on stream doing this. What the hell is your name, Santi?
Santi Sherm.
Oh, that one.
The record keeper.
Never would have guessed.
Which is
Should we move on? Because otherwise we're just going to be sitting here.
Yeah. I'll let you guys talk about this next one. Sorry. We're back. We're out of Sasuke. Don't even bring up his fucking name around me anymore, okay? We're now on to...
Is this going to be an ongoing bit for every character we get through? Is this going to be a bit until we're like, fucking don't bring up Mickey Mouse around me. Fuck that Mouse.
Ever again? Yes, it will. So let's do this.
And then for any future cast, whenever a Kingdom Hearts character show up, we're not talking about any other Kingdom Hearts matchups. We only talked about the ones that mattered last time. But anyway, Kairi versus Sakura.
I have no strong feelings towards this one, really. It got pitched, I believe?
This feels boring. This feels like, no offense, if we're gonna do Kingdom Hearts, why would it really be Kairi of all characters? I know she, like, obviously she does stuff later on, but I think she's just kind of one of the most boring characters you could pull from. And this is coming from someone who likes her.
Yeah.
And the scaling on Kairi is a little... People scale her to Sora because they fought Xemnas in the DLC, or Xehanort in the DLC together. But I don't really say that just because that one fight, she should immediately scale all the way up to Sora's level of power.
I think it's fine to scale her to, like, the low mid-tier feats, but even the low mid-tier feats should fucking blow.
Like I said, like, earlier, Kingdom Hearts and Naruto have a lot of good matchups, and Kairi, who doesn't really have a lot of combat feats, I think this would be her best matchup, but, like, that doesn't really say much. I really like Kairi as a character, and I'm gonna be completely transparent. I really don't like Sakura as a character, so, like, I don't know. This matchup does not do it for me.
I like Kairi as a character, I just don't see the point in bringing her on for a show like this.
yeah, like, she just does not have a lot to pull from.
Yeah.
And love her. She is not a fighter. But I do like the hilarity of putting two, like, characters that, like, supposedly can keep up with the other two male leads, but get shafted for most of the story, only to have, like, one main fight against the big bad evil guy at the end to supposedly prove that, oh yeah, I'm helping too, but then, like, it's just not working at all. Like, sure, you're helping, guys. Sure,
real quick. I just found exactly what I'm talking about. Sorry. Don't mean to bring it back to this.
I've been reverse image searching that power up. All I'm seeing is his, like, initial, he was a Dark Knight, but then he became a Paladin. You got some link on it being a power up?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to send it to you right now? They're called Dark Armor abilities. I just found it. I can send you the link.
Send me the link.
I'm doing it right now. So, did everyone say their part on this? I think it's okay.
It's whatever. I don't care.
Like, as far as Kairi's options goes, this is her best option, but, like, I'm just not a fan of, like, seeing this over other Kingdom Hearts matchups.
Yep, that's kind of my thoughts.
Okay, we can move. This is a popular one.
Based.
This is a fun one.
I do like it a lot.
I don't know how I feel about this one, I'll be honest.
I think the fight would be sick.
I think the fight would be fine.
I think it would be really funny to have Starkiller be our first Star Wars
character.
Yeah. A character that's not even canon anymore.
I feel like if we're gonna do a Star Wars character, it should probably be a non-Force user. That's probably just me though. I just feel like Death Battle has used so many Force users, and the one characters that they haven't used, like the one characters who aren't Force users, are just they have lightsabers in Boba Fett.
Yeah. Like
you go.
But yeah. So Roxas is one of my favorite characters of all time. Like, just outside of video games, like, he is my favorite character of all time in any fictional medium ever. So any matchup with him, I'm automatically just going to be like, okay, just to get him on. But I really like him in Starkiller. Like, I mean, there's probably a better thematic one out there, but I think this one is really strong. They're both swordsmen, well, lightsabers, but same thing, and they both have the identity crisis of, like, wanting, not knowing if they're, like, truly themselves, because, like, Starkiller in the second game, there's some ambiguity whether he's just a clone or the original, and, I think there are a lot of good parallels between that. Kingdom Hearts and Star Wars is another combo that goes well just because the light and darkness and the two sides of the Force just very comparable thematically. So, as someone who loves Roxas and loves thematics, this hits all the boxes for me.
I'll take I don't like Starkiller as a character.
Wow, bias. Damn.
Yeah, that
no wonder
that
you
is,
lied during your cast. God damn.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
If we want to talk, if we want to go into bad cast, you don't want to start that with you. I will bring up your first cast if I have to. But no.
My brother. What? You can read it. You can go to the.
I've read it. This is like an attack you can do as a Dark Knight. This is not a power up.
So read what it does in fucking Final Fantasy IV. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't want to read it, you don't have to read it. This
ability he has while he's a Dark Knight, and then he loses that ability when he gets a Paladin.
Anyway, I don't think Starkiller is like. He just feels like a fan fiction character, right? Like, oh, he killed everyone, and he's so cool, and he's so powerful, and like, he killed Vader, and like, he kills everyone, and like, he does all this cool shit. Like, come on now.
He is cool, but I don't know. Again, there's like, let's use Han Solo.
Yeah,
Thrawn.
Honestly, like, if the second game wasn't
Thrawn.
rushed, we probably would have gotten a better characterization for him, but yeah. I think his character in the first game was pretty strong, though. Like, he was powerful without it being very fanfiction-y.
And then they went full fanfiction.
Yeah,
they went
yeah.
full fan fiction. Is he in
But
the
it's like-
canon lore at all? Like the new? Is he in the new canon at all? Or
No,
is he just
no. He doesn't exist.
Yeah. Like, this guy isn't even considered canon in the Disney continuity, so he's kind of just lost to time now.
That's kind of sad.
I
though.
personally like. I think this is my favorite for both.
I think it's an okay matchup. Not really interested in doing it personally.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'd be fun doing it, but I think other versus shows are like have an eye on this one. I know it's getting a fan animation, so like, it's not particularly.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh, that's Axel from Mega Man X7, I believe.
Yes, sir. This is I like this one for Roxas. I'm not gonna lie. If I had to pick a preferred, this is my preferred.
All right, could you?
Does
explain
nobody
to me,
know
'cause, like,
anything about? So
I know about Axel, and I know he's like a Reploid that like was designed to copy other people's abilities, but like I've never understood the connections for him in this matchup. So like I'm open to be hearing it though.
Okay, so here's the connections. So now that we got that settled, let's talk about why this would be so fun to do.
Wait, what?
You're the defender of the matchup, but at least I could say like they were part of like the bad team and then they ran away from the bad team. That's like part of the story.
That's like nothing though. I just like it based on what you can do within the fight. They both have a lot of fun little things they can do that'll bounce off each other nicely. But I don't think Mega Man gets to the scaling of Kingdom Hearts, so it's probably a stop.
Right? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I just don't understand this matchup. Like,
we should probably just move on because I don't think we have anything to say.
Yeah. So,
certainly
please tell me if you've watched Fate. I added this one just in case anyone has seen Fate or knows Fate. I could find the name of this character because, like, I don't remember their name. We might not have much to say.
Mordred.
Huh?
I think it's Mordred.
Mordred?
I have no idea who this is.
All right,
I thought the goal of this cast would we would pick matchups we had stuff to talk about.
Well, I took some from my the people who watch me. I don't want to say fans.
Oh, yeah,
I
right.
said, like, fucking whatever. And it was like, oh, we got a bunch of people there. Maybe one of them has seen Fate.
I mean, I can kind of see, like, Roxas and Mordred are both kind of, sort of clones of Sora and Saber, but they very different. Mordred is more of like an estranged child, whereas Roxas is just genuinely like part of Sora. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another bad guy thing.
This is my one. This is the one that I love. Okay. I'm going to take this away because I love this one. I was waiting for it to pop up. So, this is the Soul of Cinder from Dark Souls versus the Lingering Will from Kingdom Hearts. Semantics are pretty obvious if you know these two, but I know not everyone knows a lot about these two. But they're kind of some of the strongest individuals in their verse who represent the kind of soul of previous figures, with Terra kind of... And like the Lingering Will kind of represents Terra, while the Soul of Cinder has like all the previous Lords of Cinders inside of him. And they're both kind of like the secret kind of end bosses of their respective games. Screw the Lingering Will fight, by the way. I think I beat that once, like years ago. But one, the track would go insane. If you have heard both the Soul of Cinder and Lingering Will theme, the track would go so hard because they're just probably one of the most iconic musics in this game. They're both pretty varied in what they're capable of doing, but I think the main appeal here is just the sword fight between the two. You would kind of portray Lingering Will as a more nimble fighter, while the Soul of Cinder is just kind of this heavy brute, kind of representing that, you know, how Dark Souls characters are just, you know, they can one-shot you. But they have ways of playing off of each other with their abilities. Like, the Soul of Cinder is capable of, like, creating, like making fire, attack with lightning, doing, like, poison stuff. But the thing that I always talk about this fight, because it's my favourite thing to talk about here, the Lingering Will has a Keyblade, like, motorcycle. He'll jump on a motorcycle and start blitzing around. The Soul of Cinder realistically should be able to parry that motorcycle, which is just the coolest shit ever. I think this is actually a pretty, like, I don't think it's debatable, but I think it's pretty close if you look at both of, like, their lore, you know, because Dark Souls has that kind of crazy lore. It is really, really cool. I love this one.
I like the idea of, like, Xehanort pulling some shenanigans with just the cosmology, and, like, the two battlefields that they normally reside in are, like, somehow merged by accident. And Lingering Will and this guy don't exactly know what's going on, but all they know is that there is an opponent in front of them, and they must fight.
Yeah, the Lingering Will is a bit more of a character in quotes. The Soul of Cinder is just kind of a force of will, right? You just approach it, the battle starts, you hear that theme, and you're like, oh shit, I'm in for a fight.
I mean, both of them are just like a force of will.
Yeah, they are literally kind of will perceiving, because of the whole Soul of Cinder being the mixture of all the fucking people. It also includes people like the Chosen Undead, by the way.
Yeah.
Honestly,
this is
like
actually the sequel to Dovin Dead.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I think it would be such a fun fight because it's just kind of aura the matchup, right? Because they're not really talkers; they're just fighters. So you could have like the extended fight between that. The ending would obviously be having Lingering Will pull out his big fucking cannon as the final attack, and the Soul of Cinder just willing through that attack as his like body starts to like break apart, but his will to live lets him push through it. And then like you could have him like literally push through the blast, have him grip Lingering Will by the neck, and either you could have the kill either being like Lingering Will getting a stab off through the Soul of Cinder, or the Soul of Cinder just fucking snapping his neck. I love this one. This is one of my most wanted matchups for Kingdom Hearts.
Someone is making the argument that the Lingering Will is a boss, and the Soul of Cinder is the combination of all Dark Soul players into one. So he would actually win because it's a bunch of players versus a boss fight.
That is a funny way to look at it. But by the time you meet the Soul of Cinder, he is a boss fight. He is like the penultimate kind of secret boss that you can fight. Yeah, I love this one. Let me spearhead this one.
Yeah, this is cinema.
How would each of them win exactly? Like, how would
What do you mean? How would they win?
I guess how would Soul of Cinder defeat the Lingering Will? I mean,
just
and the other.
It would just be one. It would just be one overpowering the other, really, because they're shown to be able to die.
Does the Soul of Cinder operate? Forgive me, I'm ignorant of Dark Souls. Does the Soul of Cinder operate like Chosen Undead, where
no, it's one and done.
Okay, yep, I'm into this more now. I was like, okay, Lingering Will keeps knocking him down, and then he just keeps coming back. So
no. The Soul of Cinder is a one and done. As soon as you defeat it, fight's over. So yeah, it's a brutal 1v1, and I would love to do this. Like I said, specifically half the appeal of this is the track, because Soul of Cinder and Lingering Will are some of the best tracks in Dark Souls 3 and Kingdom Hearts 2, respectively. This would just be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Would you give the Soul of Cinder the weapons and abilities of the Chosen Undead and the Bearer of the Curse?
Personally, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Because at that point, they're like, they're not the Chosen Undead. The Chosen Undead's just a part of them, you know? It's the Soul of Cinder kind of acts as its own separate being. But the Soul of Cinder has enough things that it does in its fight to be able to, like, keep up dynamically, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
You could definitely argue it, but, like, for example, the Soul of Cinder's main thing is doing stuff like, his sword can, like, become a giant flame and he can swipe it down. He can buff himself, heal himself. He can fire homing crystals. He can fire a volley of souls, which is awesome. Call down lightning, create a spear of pure sunlight. And the Lingering Will has enough to keep up as well. Just in case people don't really know what the Lingering Will can do. The Lingering Will can, like, summon homing attacks. Obviously, there's a lot he can do with his Keyblade. I talked about the Keyblade cart, the big ultimate being. He can also mess with the HUD, I believe, which is crazy.
Oh,
what
yeah,
happens,
like him versus
What happens when the Lingering Will just, like, eventually beats him? Because I think that's what's going to happen. And then the Ashen One pulls up on him. What's he going to do then?
Yeah, he can only lock magic or physical, not both, which would be interesting. Like, you could have a bit in the fight where the Lingering Will's kind of figuring out how the Soul of Cinder works, locks his physical attacks, and then he just fucking calls down lightning from the sky instead. Like, take that.
I'm move on. We've been gushing on this one.
Yeah, I love this one. This is one you would have
10 out of 10.
Oh, hey, I really like this one as well.
This one is a very good one. So this is basically the idea of... So Terra and Richter are both, like, members of, like... Terra is one of the various Keyblade Masters, and Richter is one of the various Belmont clan members. And they're kind of like... This is a smaller connection, but they're kind of not happy that they're just, like, a guy in the big scheme of things. Like, they kind of want to be, like... the cool, powerful guy that's gonna save the day forever. They both kind of get corrupted, like where Richter's desire to not be forgotten by history leads to him getting corrupted by, or tricked/corrupted by Shaft. Terra has a whole thing with Xehanort. And I just kind of like the idea of, like, comparing the Belmonts and all their Castlevania weapons to a Kingdom Hearts character. Because I think, like, it could really play up, like, I think putting the Vampire Slayer next to a Keyblade really helps show off, like, how cool that thing is. Because Castlevania can get very anime, and this is the fight to do that, in my opinion. Just really show off just how, like, magical and crazy Castlevania characters can get.
They scale close to each other?
If you're kind of looking at everything, they should, yeah.
Yeah, like... This is a really cool fight, not gonna lie. Definitely love the idea of, like, you know, the Keyblade clashing with the Vampire Killer and, like, different magic from Terra clashing with, like, the sub-weapons. And I know... does Richter get a few spells in his game?
He is a Castlevania character, so he does get some spells. In the show, he gets, like, a lot of spells. I don't know if he has... In the show, they basically make him a fusion of Trevor and Sypha a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think he quite has it to that degree, but he actually has more. If I remember correctly, he has like a bigger variety of things he can do in the games. They're just not as like comprehensive, because in the show he has like complete manipulation of fire, whereas in the game it's just like a projectile.
Yeah. He has stuff that he's capable of doing. A lot of it obviously comes from like equipment and stuff, you know. But he's got stuff that like the stopwatch, which lets him stop time. And, the vampire killer, which ignites his whip on fire. He's got a lot of stuff that manipulates his whip, you know.
He can do this thing called like item crash, which basically lets him like do this cool like screen clearing thing with basically any weapon he has.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be like, it's really cool.
It's cool. I like this one a lot. This is probably my preferred for both.
Yeah, to think about that one.
I really like this as a Terra matchup, but I feel like if we cover Terra as a character on the show, that the Lingering Will would be just a more engaging character to cover, because like they're basically the same character. Like Terra's story ends being trapped in the Lingering Will until like, you know, far later. So, and plus, because Lingering Will, you control him during like the final fight in Terra's story, the Lingering Will gets any ability Terra has. So I just feel like if we take a version of this character, the Lingering Will is just a lot more of a compelling choice, and then, you know, we already know which matchup that guy's going against.
We can make a story.
We just spent like 10 minutes talking about that.
We can make a story out of it. He fights the Soul of Cinder as a Lingering Will. 2 years later, we come back, we make this matchup. Continues the story.
I mean that's a cool idea. That's a cool idea only on the basis if the Lingering Will beats the Soul of Cinder. Because if he loses, it would be like, damn.
I am sold on this matchup. Like, just continuing that, you've sold me on it. Based.
But is this base?
Okay.
I mean,
actually, I don't.
Xehanort and Palpatine's connections.
I don't entirely hate this one like a lot of people seemingly do. I get it, and it is kind of redundant with the Palpanaut in the room.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, this is a matchup that makes sense, but I don't even know if it's like in the top 5 of the series combo.
I think it is. I think it is top 5. A lot of them after like a while just kind of get bad. But like this is cool. I get it thematically. Obviously, Force versus Kingdom Hearts spells is always fun. It does feel a little bit redundant in the eyes of Palpanaut, but I wouldn't be against doing it. I like it enough.
The reason you would want to theoretically do this over Palpanaut is if you think Anakin, if you gave him like full potential stuff and said like he's actually father, son, daughter level, which means he's stronger than Palpatine, so you want a closer debate maybe? I don't think that's a compelling reason to do it over a Palpanaut. That's just like the only theoretical advantage I could think of.
Yeah,
if anyone does Palpanaut first though, like let's say Death Battle does it, right? And we were like, oh, we want to make something similar, but you know they already did it. We wouldn't get many clicks. This would be a perfect alt for us.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I also really liked the idea of the setup just being Palpatine and Xehanort kind of manipulating them both into seeing each other as the enemy. You know?
Yeah, it would be really easy to write the setup for this one.
Palpatine kind of hits the "Help me, Anakin! He's trying to take my life." And then Xehanort's like, that Palpatine guy's pretty evil. You should like deal with him. And that's kind of how you get the easy setup, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I have a similar problem I have with this one with Terra and Richter, where it's like, Anakin's a really cool character, but like, you know, with his story, it kind of goes into Vader, so I don't know. I just kind of prefer Vader as a character, because like, it helps fill out the rest of the story than to just cut him off before that point.
I think you can do Anakin as a matchup outside of Vader because he fights very differently from Vader.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like you could. I don't know. It'd just be really weird to have an analysis for like.
Anakin is definitely way more than enough content to make an analysis.
Yeah, no, he 100% does.
Especially if you use extended media.
I also think it's cool to. I also to end it on like his fall, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, either one of them could end well on a fall. I don't know. I guess it's just a personal preference that I'm just a little hesitant. Like, I wouldn't be upset if it happened, but like, I'm definitely not going to be like clamoring for it.
Wait, well, you will be clamoring for. We're gonna have to skip this one. It's another Fate matchup.
Well,
Saber versus Aqua.
Yeah. I don't know what you were expecting that lead up into.
What's her name? Jean.
Yeah, Jeanne d'Arc. That's her.
Jeanne d'Arc.
The Arc one.
It's Joan of Arc's real name.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a really nice matchup, guys, but I do not know Fate, so.
If anyone knows Fate, let me know.
They
oh, this is the other Kingdom Hearts one that I like with Star Wars.
I can't remember.
This is the one you like.
So apologies.
Yeah, it's Mitra Surik.
What is she from?
I believe. She's Star Wars.
Well,
did you put my I don't mean to skip ahead. Did you put my preferred Aqua matchup on this to-do list?
I did
not. In a minute.
I didn't have time to make the thumbnail.
Okay.
Anyway, she is in the kind of Old Republic era. And she kind of has a lot of stuff with Raven going on, you know? She's really cool. Normal kind of Jedi stuff, telekinesis, illusions, force field, force healing, redirecting and absorbing attacks, precognition. She's really cool. Yeah, she was known as the Jedi Exile after the Mandalorian Wars.
So this is one carried by connective tissue more than anything.
Yeah, but also I think she's a pretty cool character at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah, Sharon, you want to say what your preferred for Aqua was? I didn't put in here.
Aqua versus the Doomslayer.
Okay, and glad you didn't put that in.
Ironically, kind of like.
I don't get it, but go off, King.
It's really
I get it. Aqua gets trapped in the realm of darkness. Doom gets trapped in hell, and they're basically just like, okay, and now I'm gonna make it everyone else's problem here.
Worst matchup ever.
Hang on.
I've definitely heard worse matchups, but it's definitely not the strongest.
I think the music would go hard.
Back onto the topic at hand here.
Fair. The music would go hard.
But yeah, she disobeyed the Jedi Order and aided in the war in invading Mandalore. Luckily, she didn't get kicked out. She became a Jedi Knight. But she served under Raven and Malak, and everybody kind of understands who Darth Raven is. He's not a nice guy. But yeah, she was exiled eventually, and it's cool. I get it a lot, and the fight would be fun. What is this? I just looked back at this. I didn't even. I was like, look, what?
So this one, it's another Kingdom Hearts Sailor Moon. There's a lot of matchups like that.
Yeah.
I gravitate towards this one because of the idea that after Kingdom Hearts 3, it's a little less connective tissue. The idea was it was Axel and Mercury, who are both the best friends of one of the parts of the main character, who used to be other beings that were tied to the other characters before becoming this different person later in life. But Axel goes back to being Leo later, so that connective tissue is kind of gone. But and then the other idea of having fire abilities to bounce off of each other, and they're both like the best friend characters that have a little bit of like tude to them.
I see the vision. I see the vision. I wouldn't be too upset about this, but like I feel like there have to be better matchups for both of them.
Connor said, "Is this a ship or a matchup?" Fun fact:
it's both.
The anime lies to you. In Sailor Moon, Mars is not interested in men at all. The manga, she is very much not that person. In the anime, she is just not the manga. I thought it was cool, but you know, if you guys don't like it, I guess I could just cry.
I mean, I don't hate it. I just don't get it.
I just explained it. I'm kidding. This one I understand a little bit more, and is probably now my preferred. The same kind of connective tissue. The best friends of the characters. Both are very hot-headed, jump into things too quick, very cocky, arrogant. It doesn't have the fire connection, so it's worse. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh no! I like this one better.
I do too now. I didn't know this existed until now. The only other Renji opponent I ever heard of was against Yamcha, and I get it. That's funny, but no.
Renji versus Yamcha is kind of funny.
It literally, what are the heels of Bleach and Dragon Ball? Let's go. Also, Sherm, I have to apologize to you.
What's up?
I was wrong about the Cecil thing. It was just an ability that was taken out of the game. It wasn't a form.
Aha! So he doesn't have a dark form, so the matchup is worse. But I didn't want to say that because I thought there was something I didn't know about.
So in the Dissidia games, that dark he gets into that paladin armor and can do that form, but it's not in the original game. It's just a move he can do in the original game when he is in the paladin form. So I was wrong on that one.
To speak on my very brief problems with Cecil versus Riku, I think it's weird to compare the very realistic Cecil being raised in like a very messed up system, learning to be better and growing out of it, a la Adora, to Riku getting like corrupted by Palpatine. It doesn't have like the same like they do have dark forms and go to the light, but I think they are nearly incomparable.
I'm sorry, did you just say Riku get corrupted by Palpatine?
That was being flowery, like his whole like being corrupted by the darkness thing.
Ah, okay. No.
I think that's very different to being like raised in a system controlled by bad people than to just fall into like magical darkness and become a worse person because of it.
Oh no, valid point. I was just like, wait.
Story,
yeah,
just
he was
say,
curious why you said Palpatine instead of Xehanort. That's what he wanted to know.
Yeah, that was what I was questioning. Like, hold up, did you just get their names mixed up?
And what if I did? You're gonna make a big deal out of it?
No. But
yes, fake fan. You're fired.
Okay, wait. Okay. I'm gonna have to talk about this one because I've had quite a history with this one. So this what used to be my most wanted matchup. When I joined the community, like the Reddit community and stuff, I was like, I need a man. I picked this one because I love Star Wars and I love Kingdom Hearts. I submitted this to the Tournament of Champions and it got on. And it was one of the most exciting moments in this community when they were like revealing the lineup and this came up. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think I need to talk a lot about this, but I'm still gonna screw you guys. Do I think we should do it? Probably not. If I'm honest, I think we should just kind of leave this to death battle. But if they decide to be stubborn and they don't want to do this, God, this is amazing. Palpatine is probably my straight-up favorite Star Wars character, just because he's a bitch. There's no tragic backstory. There's no, like, oh, I got manipulated. Not saying that those characters are bad, but he's just a bitch. And his fights, I think Palpatine has the single best fight in Star Wars. Fight me on this, everyone, below. This gives you something to talk about, actually. I think Darth Maul and Savage Opress versus Darth Sidious is the best fight in Star Wars history. And I think you could emulate that so much with this fight. Not only is the combat between them, because Palpatine has like mastered all of the fucking like lightsaber styles, so he's a very versatile fighter. There's just so much you can do here. They both have so many abilities. Obviously, we had a little preview of what it could be like in the DBX, but I think there's so much you could do here. I love this matchup. There's so much.
That DBX is what sold me on it, mind you.
Yeah, the DBX is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones. Was it Artemis, Devil Artemis, that animated that one?
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, this one, the Goomba versus Koopa DBX were like, oh my god. But that was when I first became a member, was when this came out and I wanted to see the alternate ending. And
yeah, the alternate end is really good as well.
So it's like, Xehanort loses, bullshit.
I mean, that is true. The only thing this is kind of lacking is a debate, and Death Battle kind of showed that off with Yoda versus King Mickey. But there's a lot more to talk about here, because Palpatine arguably gets higher with, like, Force Storm bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
He's not really...
They fight differently, and they have completely different abilities than Yoda and King Mickey as well, so it is a fight.
I feel like...
They could pull, like, a Boba Fett and, like, you know, when he fought Samus and just... pull extra stuff from like the now dead expanded universe, because I think he gets some.
I think you should do that for Palpatine. That's why he gets like the Force Storms and that. But I just there's so much like fight potential here. Obviously, you could have like the Force Lightning clashing with Xehanort's spells. You could have a moment where Palpatine just starts slamming Xehanort across the arena using his telekinesis. Only for Xehanort to like forcefully break out and use one of his he uses like stops her and freezes Palpatine in time for a few moments to like get his bearings. Palpatine is awesome as well because his fighting style is 2 lightsabers, so he's dual wielding that shit in this fight. I think this is awesome. It is like my favorite Kingdom Hearts matchup. It means kind of everything to me, so it really fucking hurts me when I say we shouldn't do this.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. Saul had shared with me before this, secretly to everyone. Saul had shared with me before this that he does have a preferred for Xehanort. So I kind of want to talk about that real quick. Oh, did I not add it? No, did I not add it?
He didn't. He didn't add it.
If I didn't add it, I'm going to be so upset. Well, if it comes up, we'll talk about it. I have
What are you on about?
I have the thumbnail. Maybe I put it in the wrong order.
I know what you're on about. I know what you're on about now. If you forgot that one, I will quit live.
Maybe I put it out of order by accident.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got real quick. I got 2 Xiaoan matchups that I didn't put in here because they were kind of similar. One was against Shadow the Hedgehog, and one was against 2B. Neither of those had thumbnails, but I figured I'd bring it up because the connective tissue those two have, I feel like, would be better served for Nier himself. In terms of like he has the added connections on top of everything they already have together, of both being beings that were wiped out from other people's memories who came back due to essentially heart power, I'm gonna call it, because of Kingdom Hearts logic. But I find this one really interesting. I'm not sure how many people played Nier in this crew I have here, but it's a really interesting matchup.
I have not played Nier. I don't really know this guy, and I thought we were talking about a Kingdom Hearts matchup. I don't recognize the girl on the right. Who is she?
What? Don't fuck with me.
What?
She's literally holding a Mickey keychain on her arm.
No, who is this person? I don't.
Is this a bit?
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be remembering her.
Nier and Kingdom Hearts, but I don't recognize either of these guys.
See, Sherm? See?
Does anyone in the chat know who this is?
Who is this?
You guys are gaslighting me. You make me think I got a fan OC. This is not a fan OC. I swear to God.
No. I think you're just outing yourself as a fake Kingdom Hearts fan right now.
It might be a fan OC. I'm not sure. I don't recognize him.
Yeah. Is this another Fanon work?
I haven't played all of
It kind of looks like
Hearts, so like the side games.
You know, now that I think about it, she does kind of look like one of those like DeviantArt hair color swaps of a main character. Like this looks like someone decided to dye Kyrie's hair black.
Okay, we'll move on.
It does kind of look like that. Oh, it's the good one.
Yeah, there we go. It was just out of order.
I remember this matchup.
Oh, Saul's gone. Fuck. I don't know who X-Gaster is. I was hoping you guys could explain that to me.
I know a little bit about X-Gaster. I think that this matchup unironically goes pretty hard. I think it's fun to compare like X-Tail and Kingdom Hearts. The two have a lot of overlap. Yeah, this is a real good matchup.
What's the deal with the X-Gaster? What does he do? He's Gaster, I get, but outside of that, he's like an OC Gaster, right?
Well, do you know what X-Tail is?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so it's kind of like where Aerosand comes from. It's where it's probably like the most popular Undertale fan-made series, where it's like a bunch of different Saiyans across the multiverse getting into shenanigans.
Oh, I learned about this when you did your cast.
Yeah.
Because Aerosand has a lot to do with that storyline. I believe.
Yeah. I think it's fun to compare like an Undertale and Kingdom Hearts matchup, because Undertale, the soul is literally a heart. So there's going to be a lot of heart imagery in this fight.
Do Keyblades affect the soul?
They can.
I mean, that's actually really funny because they interact mainly with the hearts, but the heart and the soul are two very distinct things in the Kingdom Hearts universe.
Yeah, you could maybe portray Gaster's heart as a shadow
bathroom.
cast
I was
by
in the
his first
bathroom.
soul.
I was in the bathroom.
Well, I think we've talked enough about this matchup. I think we can move on.
No.
Yeah, we already kind of covered it. Sorry.
You are not taking away my baby.
You can start from the top. We've basically just been buying time.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to.
Thank you.
I said it was funny that it's a matchup of Kingdom Hearts versus a series where the souls are shaped like hearts, which makes the conversation really confusing because souls aren't hearts.
I was like, man, I can use the bathroom. They're only talking about Xeon. That's not a character I'm really too interested in seeing on the show. Boom! Okay, so for those who don't know, this is a matchup made by moi. Plime also picked the worst thumbnail out of the three, so thank you very much for that. This is X-Gaster from Underverse versus Xehanort from Kingdom Hearts. Underverse, to explain, is a kind of fan Undertale series type thing. It's really good. You should watch it. But kind of the main idea of this is that they kind of start off as normal individuals before kind of getting extreme power from another individual, which leads them to trying to perfect their world almost with X-Gaster's whole thing is he's trying to perfect X-Tail and eventually the multiverse, while Xehanort wants to get Kingdom Hearts to kind of remake it in his own image. This fight is awesome. X-Gaster's entire thing is about his kind of reload effect thing. Basically, he has access to a thing called the override button, which allows him to manipulate reality itself. It can wipe the code of timelines. It can construct weapons, use the ability to mess with people. He has a bunch of stuff he's able to do, like regenerate, heal himself, create a battle domain so he can isolate the area. He has a bunch of magic. He's able to modify people's powers, nullify them, and negate them. He's able to mess with souls, cast illusions, mess with minds, telekinetically mess with people, possess people, mess with their memories. A lot. He's not particularly kind of a melee fighter, but if push comes to shove, he has been in close range combat, so there isn't really a Keyblade type fight here, although you can get that with his hand spikes, because he can summon a bunch of hands and use them. I think this is thematically really cool. Xehanort was never normal and he gained what he has by himself. I mean, kind of, but there's also the Master of Masters, who kind of helped him as well. But yeah, it's really cool. The dialogue here is just them loving their evilness, but also just trying to manipulate each other as well. X-Gaster might just win based on the scaling I've seen for Underverse. I can't really talk about it a lot, but he might win, which is funny.
Check out our Error Sans versus Sonic.exe cast to find out more about where...
Actually, don't check out that one, because that scaling has no prevalence over X-Gaster.
Oh, does it not?
No.
Oh, I got it twisted. Never mind.
Oof. Could you imagine
here's
if
my
we're the
question.
Versus show that keeps doing the fan-made OC characters? That'd be crazy.
Someone's gotta.
Someone has to.
Apparently. We got Dr. Coomer, we got...
So here's
As if we're doing that one.
Review, Saul.
Wait, are we doing that one?
No, it's not decided yet.
If we were to do an X-Gaster episode, Saul, would you rather it be this or X-Gaster versus Eon from 5 years later?
It would be X-Gaster versus Divinity, yeah.
Okay.
X-Gaster versus Divinity has a lot more going on for it. But I think this is cool enough. It kind of... It shows off a lot more of that kind of layered complexity with Xehanort, I guess. Because against Palpatine, like I said, Palpatine's just a bitch, right? He's just like, I love being evil and I love killing people. Xehanort has a bit more complexity to him that I feel like you could really explore here while also keeping to his fucked up and evil nature.
Do we think Xehanort was retconned over time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I think he was just written badly.
Kind
I
of.
also
I
don't
don't
think
know.
so.
It's hard to really tell what aspects of Kingdom Hearts were always intended and which ones were just retconned. But
weird.
yeah, speaking
I am
of,
now a misunderstood good guy, but I believe you.
okay, I believe you.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, I'm
I have-
surprised it took us this long to reference that.
I have issues with that, but we don't. I have issues with the comments you guys are making, but we don't want to turn this into a full rant from me.
So let's talk about your
That-
other matchup.
This is cool.
Versus Mephiles.
Didn't I? Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure. Did I suggest this one?
Yes.
Yep.
It's because I couldn't. It's because I couldn't think of a third one. No. This is really cool. I love Ansem. I'll be honest. Not a big Sonic guy, but I've talked to a few Sonic people about this, and I get it. They're kind of the halves of another kind of more powerful character. Blah 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 blah. I just think it's really fun. I love what Ansem can do in fights. I love the fact he just has a fucking stand. His entire fighting style is just having a stand right behind him for the entire fight with his heartless that follows him. Which is cool thematically, and I think you can do a lot of really cool things with the fight. They have a lot of different attacks they can do, and like generating shockwaves, firing different energy, like blasts of different sizes. You can also kind of get some really good form progression as Ansem enters his like final form, which I struggle to beat even today. Screw
It is a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like
give him
this
Solaris.
render of Ansem right now, you could just put this thumbnail into MS Paint and make him look like Pussy from JoJo really easily. Just adding some white lines.
You probably wouldn't give him Solaris, no.
Okay, I was gonna say that's a little overkill if you do.
Yeah, it's cool. I really like this one. Ansem's just kind of one of my... He's kind of the antithesis of early Kingdom Hearts, you know?
Also,
I
did
will-
you say
I will
that-
say-
did
I
did
feel
you say
like
they were
not-
the corpses of the characters? Because I don't think that's true.
No. I said they were like the halves.
Oh, okay.
Well, like, Ansem based this appearance kind of like as like a possessed version of like Riku, and like kind of like
Yeah.
there's a little Terranort in there, and Mephiles is like chooses his form based on like Shadow, so they're both kind of like dark entities that take the form of like rival characters.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's really cool. I like Ansem to me is kind of the the bridge between like, haha, funny Disney game, and oh fuck, we have complicated lore. Ansem is like kind of complicated, but in Kingdom Hearts 1, he's just kind of the guy who was messing with Riku, you know? And like I said, he's really fun. Gosh, I'll be honest, I just really love the fact he has a Heartless just kind of doing a lot of the attacks for him, you know?
Isn't his Heartless Terra? Am I crazy?
No.
Yeah.
That was oh no, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it was revealed later that Terra's actual personality was trapped in that thing.
Which is dumb.
What were you trying to say before, Sherm?
I will say, it feels like a little bit of a missed opportunity to do a Mephiles matchup that doesn't have anything to do with Solaris. Because I feel like if you're gonna do a Mephiles, or even like a Sonic 06 themed episode, I feel like you gotta really like pull out everything and give them everything. Otherwise, it's just kind of like.
I mean, you could do that because it's not like Ansem doesn't have any higher tier forms to match this. I mean, he quite literally has his World of Darkness form.
I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, like the Solaris versus World of Darkness is like part of the appeal because like they both have their lower forms and then they have like their giant Eldritch Abomination forms. Like
it would kind of be
if we're gonna do this is like
matchup since Solaris is all about like light and all that.
Yeah,
like
so I do agree.
Light and darkness, like
I do agree, but I don't think Ansem has a win con. That's if you add Solaris. Because to beat Solaris, you need to beat him at every every point in time, all at once, and I don't think Ansem has like.
Well, they said that, but turns out you can just do that in like 3 points of time, which is not every point in time.
Even then, I don't think Ansem has the ability to be in.
You could, but it's also kind of
actually depending.
Yeah, also kind of. Yeah, there's potential for that as well. Also,
you have to stretch out the rules a bit, but you could kind of make it.
You can also
young Xehanort scaling.
You can also Ansem should also just be able to nullify people's powers as well, and like their resistances and stuff through the fucking card stuff.
But Solaris, the second phase of the fight, it's on a higher plane of existence than everyone. That's why they struggle to harm it. With that,
but they are themselves not on a higher plane of existence. It's that Solaris himself is a higher dimensional entity.
That's what I mean. So I don't know if Ansem's like where Haxi abilities would exactly do.
It would be cool to look out for a debate.
I also don't think you can give him the time abilities just because young Xehanort can do it. Just because Ansem's never shown that. You know what I mean? I feel like it'd be super.
Yeah, I know. I was just being cheeky.
Okay.
But it's definitely a really cheeky. Cool one to look at for a versus show and stuff. Like I said, Ansem's just cool. I really like him. To be fair, could you also make the argument that he could possess Mephiles before he becomes Solaris?
That is very possible.
Yeah, because like if he's because we could have it in the fight, but data shows that he could beat Maleficent beforehand. Like
yeah. Like for the sake of the fight animation, I would probably imagine the ending being Solaris versus the World of Darkness and stuff. But I think from a debate perspective, you would probably have it as like Ansem could probably kill Mephiles before he enters that point, you know?
True.
I'd have to.
I don't think this is my preferred for Mephiles, but it does seem like it's a really cool option for for a guy over here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is my preferred for both of these guys.
He does.
Yeah, he has some of those. Not many good ones, but
I saw the one against that guy from Mortal Kombat, and I was like, okay, interesting.
He has a Mortal Kombat match.
Which guy from Mortal Kombat?
He looks like I only saw it on the Discord a few times. It's Mephiles. He looks like a green guy. He's like big and buff. I don't know his name. I don't play the new
Reptile.
Kotal Khan.
Kotal Khan, I think, is right.
Versus Mephiles?
That sounds really bad.
Oh, Cetrion?
Maybe. Are you talking about Onaga?
We should probably just move on, right?
It's Cetrion.
I don't know.
Cetrion.
Cetria. I guess that makes a little more sense.
I had to search it in the Discord. I was like, what the fuck am I talking about?
I was referring to Zamasu. That's the one I like, but we don't need to belabor on it because it's not a Sonic and Dragon Ball video.
Yeah, Zamasu is another good one, but yeah.
We don't really.
There we go. I've been waiting all cast to talk about this one. This is my turn to take the spotlight. Move over, Saul. I'm taking the mic.
All right. What the fuck are you on
about? All right. All right. So this is the matchup I was talking about earlier. This is my preferred Naruto, like Kingdom Hearts, and heck, one of my most favorite matchups of like all time right now. Xemnas versus Pain. Both are leaders of villainous organizations that turn out to just be figureheads for even greater organization shenanigans, but are also both very nihilistic leaders with kind of similar stuff involving Pain. Pain obviously feels himself as a herald. He wants to, inflict so much pain that the world basically is too scared to ever cause a war again. And Xemnas, has some of Terra's memories, so he kind of like relies on his, leans into the fact that he's a nobody, can't feel it, in order to ignore his own coping pains from that time. And plus, they just have a lot of cool abilities that would pair with each other. Pain with his 6 paths obviously has a lot of unique interactions, and a lot of his soul hacks can still work on Xemnas, ironically enough, because as we discussed before, hearts and souls are 2 different things, and while Xemnas wants a heart, nobodies are specifically stated to be the body and soul of a person left behind once a Heartless is formed. So you could make the argument that all of Pain's soul manipulation stuff could work with like Ashura Path and like absorbing it for more power and whatnot. But, Xemnas could also counter with like his clones, obviously versus the Path of Pain one. Like, they both can summon stuff. Like, with the Animal Path, you have like these giant animal-like kaiju things. And Xemnas can pretty much summon nobodies at his will. We could even give him, like, the giant nobody castle dragon that he uses in Kingdom Hearts 2. Xemnas can also manipulate a bunch of other weapons from the other organization members in his boss fight. Has the Nothing Blades, which are basically just dual-wielding lightsabers. And plus, during this fight, at some point, there has to be a moment where, Kingdom Hearts is, in the sky, and, something happens where a piece of rock gets crumbled up, but then Pain just kind of blows up a piece of Kingdom Hearts and then uses it to form a planetary devastation. There is a lot of story potential you can do with them just basically spouting poetics the entire fight about their views on, pain and emotion and how meaningless everything is, and just... it's just such a good matchup. I want to see it so much.
Fun fact, before Zoro switched his pitch to Diaboromon versus Cell, me and Saul were supposed to debate this on Fan Battle Cast, something that we have not done yet somehow. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, my original one was Cell versus Diaboromon. Then friends from another server kind of talked me into no one's going to know that matchup. You should do something more recognizable. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do this one. But then I was talking with you guys, and I'm like, fuck it. You know what? Original plan. And I'm glad I stuck to my guns because I really like that matchup too.
I mean, I was going to say, it's like, the pitches are specifically for you. Nobody else should dictate what you pitch, If you like a matchup and nobody else likes it, you should just be like, well, let me try to make my arguments.
Well, they're going to be like, well, you should do something at least somewhat recognizable. Otherwise, they might be afraid not to do something that no one knows, like Diaboromon. But, at the same time, it's like, well, then who else is, this is the only chance to get them aware.
How did this turn into Cell versus Diaboromon?
Any chance I get to talk about Digimon, I will. Then how come we didn't do a Digimon stream today?
Because it would just be you talking to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing a Digimon cast soon.
But you don't know anything!
What do you mean I don't know anything?
You don't know anything. You don't even know about the kaleidoscope of feelings. It's okay. To get back to this, after I insult Zoro for his lack of knowledge, To get back to this, would you give?
Wait! No! Hold on. What impression did I gave that I don't know Digimon? What
we should keep going here because otherwise we're gonna get off track.
I'm just fucking around. Would you give? So Death Battle is taking people at their best, right? When you think about this matchup, the best theoretically Pain could get would be having a 6-pass and still being able to move his body. Would you still limit it to just the 6-pass version? Or would you, and just have his body be like the form he was in when he was getting taken care of? Or would you have his body be more like when Naruto had fought Nagato?
Well,
and give him the
both
6-pass?
Because kind of both, just because like, yeah, he was crippled and had like those chakra things in him and kind of crippled, which I think would also make for an interesting dynamic when looking at the analysis. But like, we have seen, like, even Nagito was able to, like, restore his strength by absorbing some of, like, the soul and chakra of, like, other, from, like, B and Naruto during his fight. So, if Xemnas at some point just, like, summons a bunch of nobodies just to kind of fight, I could definitely see a scenario where Nagato, or, you know, at least with the aid of some of the paths, is able to absorb enough energy just to restore himself back to his prime as Nagato. So I say why not both?
Even if you didn't do that, you could still argue that Nagato can still make the 6-pass even when he is normal. He just didn't in that fight because he was reincarnated, being mind controlled, and the process isn't that easy. But
yeah, because like upon having like the, you know, paths of 6 sages, like he had access to every one of his abilities during that fight. It's just he decided to divide them up within the 6 bodies. Because, like, we even see this in, like, his fight with Pain, where as the other 5 bodies got destroyed, he just kind of focused all his energy into the main, you know, body. And he was able to utilize all of the 6 paths from it.
Yeah. All right. I think we should move on from this, but I do think this is a really good matchup. And there's a lot.
All right, I'll hand the mic back.
There's another Xemnas matchup.
Okay, whomst is this?
Fuck. This is Xenoblade 3. Oh my god, what the fuck was this one? He's one of the villains throughout the game. He's not the main one at all. I can't remember. It's Council something, because you know how Council N had that DB cast. This is Council something else, and I cannot remember for the life of me his name. It's so embarrassing because I read it like 15 times before the stream to try to make sure I memorized the name. And now I can't remember it. Go me.
This looks like someone from Xenoblade.
It is Xenoblade. I have it right here. I swear to God. I'm not lying. I swear to God, I'm not lying. Also, there's a lot of matchups I didn't pull that had just the Disney versions of the Kingdom Hearts characters. But I was like, if we're gonna do
an expert on this matchup.
You are?
This is Xemnas versus Console Z. They are 2 non-human, artificially made beings. Xemnas being a nobody, which are born when human hearts
clearly
and leave their body, with them being the bodies, and Z being a glitch formed in origin, formed from the fear of tomorrow of humanity, who are leaders, and formed other beings.
Thank you, Sherm.
And one of these members became the protagonist in a weird way, that being Roxas and Console N. They control monsters. They have control over a supernatural location and are cold and emotionless. And they make long speeches and have rare hammy moments. And they have a giant being under their command, that being the Nobody Dragon and the robot and the Origins robot mode.
Wait,
so we could have a dragon versus robot fight.
When did Xemnas ever have a hammy moment?
I'm trying to think of that.
He has moments where like he pretends to have emotion, but really doesn't.
Well, yeah, but he that's never really portrayed as like it's just more about him just being condescending. He's not really being hammy over the top. It's just him waxing poetics like an edgelord.
Well, I think you could be accidentally hammy.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, especially with like some of the deliveries of the lines in Kingdom Hearts, it could definitely be like all of your base belong to us. But yeah, you know who my preferred Xemnas is.
I like this one. I think Xemnas versus Ulquiorra is really cool.
This shit is so cool. No offense to you, Zoro. I do think yours is cool too. But as the dedicated Bleach guy, the idea of having Ulquiorra fight someone who has such a similar story to him, because Ulquiorra, if you don't know, is the character from Bleach that represents like nihilism or nothingness. So his whole thing within the story is like he kind of like just like Xemnas, how we find out spoilers for Kingdom Hearts 3, I guess. Just how we found out Xemnas still has like a heart, and he still has like feels things that he was been denying his entire life because he's been consistently told a lie of, oh, nobodies don't have hearts or whatever. Ulquiorra has had similar things, but because of his nothingness, his journey is kind of like trying to figure out what he feels because he doesn't believe it's anything. So whenever in the last scene when Ulquiorra is like dying and fading away, when his last action is like reaching out to Orihime and her reaching back out to him and him just disappearing, it's like the same kind of death moment Xemnas has of the realization right before their own deaths.
Okay, I've never seen Bleach, but like from what it sounds like, this could capture a lot of the same kind of stuff like him, Xemnas, and Pain could. Like, I'm still leaning Xemnas and Pain just because, you know, personal biases. Naruto and Kingdom Hearts were some of my childhood, but like, I would not be upset if we ended up doing this matchup for Xemnas instead. Like, sounds like it could still hit all the beats that I would want, and you know, in a Xemnas fight.
This is my favorite for both. I like the sound of this a lot.
I like this one. I like another one for Ulquiorra, but I don't want to keep getting into alts here. But I do like this one. There's a lot of connective tissue. There's a lot you can do, especially since Ulquiorra has two separate forms. One where he becomes more like an angel, and one where he becomes more like a demon. And Xemnas, I believe you could probably give him his latter forms in Kingdom Hearts 2 without much issue.
Yeah, I think Kingdom Hearts vs. Bleach is just a really sick series combo.
I do think so too. That's the only matchup like this on here, but I do think so.
Why?
What is this render for baby Vegeta?
I don't know what it's from.
My reaction to this matchup is why.
I'm trying to think
if it's like debatable.
Like, I'm not trying to be a hater, but why?
I was about to say like, oh, they're in other people's bodies, but Vanitas is not.
No, he just looks like Sora as some kind of like the working theory, even though like he sees his face in Birth by Sleep, that, you know, it's retroactively Vanitas taking that form just to be the antithesis of everything Vanitas is. And apparently that means Sora, but like that happened in Birth by Sleep before Ventus meets Sora, and like, I don't know. Like, I don't see the connections. Like, there are better matchups for both.
Yeah.
They are both assholes. That's an important connection to have. Oh, another one.
Now this one I can get behind.
I do feel like it might just be Sora versus Pit too.
Does Vanitas have like a character development? I don't remember.
Kind of.
Really.
I say kind of because he does have some stuff that happens within Kingdom Hearts 3 that's supposed to be like a realization of his character, but It's like.
I mean, that moment really just boiled down to Vanitas doubling down on like, nah, I'm evil Sora. I'm the embodiment of the darkness.
But why not
light? I was born in it. Because darkness. Okay.
No, I like Dark Pit as a character. I don't know if Vanitas is the matchup for him.
Like,
because wouldn't he just have the abilities of Pit? Wouldn't that just be the same thing?
It does seem like it's just a Pit versus Sora too.
I mean, Dark Pit has a few things going for him if you want to take certain things. Like, he used to be able to fly on his own, but then lost that ability in the game, and canonically now works for the forces of nature, so you could give him stuff like Lightning Chariot. Although, if we were to do, like, Pit versus Roxas, Pit versus Sora 2, ironically enough, I think Roxas has better similarities with Dark Pit than Vanitas, just because Roxas and Dark Pit were hollow creations of a base main character and spent their entirety of their stories debating on, their own self-identity and trying to forge an identity outside of their counterparts and what everyone else expects of them.
Hold up, real quick.
So, like,
Pin says Kingdom Hearts, more like Stupid Hearts. Oof.
Pin, get out of here.
Can you time it? Can you time him out?
You want me to time? No, I'm not gonna do that.
Mods, time it
out of here, Pin.
Time it out for an hour.
Send him to the realm of darkness for 5 years.
Nice to see you, Pin.
It's not nice to see you. Don't listen to him.
Someone said I could explain this one later. Yeah, anyone that suggested things that I don't understand, you could feel free to just leave a comment being like, "Oh, okay, so this is what you don't understand about it," and I always read it. Even if I don't reply to everyone, I always read it.
Oh yeah, like I always love hearing more about other matchups, even if I don't understand it. Like, I want to be able to like see the visions of things.
Huh?
We're gonna have to skip this. It's another Fate matchup.
Ah.
Well, I thought it was a Saint Seiya character.
Okay, who keeps recommending all of these Fate characters?
I could probably figure that out if I went through. But now that it's from Saint Seiya, it's not from Fate.
Aha! I'm a genius.
Did you say it was? I didn't hear you.
Maybe my mic didn't pick it up, but I said I thought they were from Saint Seiya.
Am I going crazy? But is that guillotine Saul has going lower as we go, or?
Wait, it is. What?
It hasn't moved. What do you mean? I haven't moved it. I genuinely haven't touched it.
It was definitely higher up earlier in the stream.
It definitely wasn't, because I would have known if I moved it.
No, you've been lowering the image down subtly.
I feel like I'm getting gaslit by my own fucking OBS because I haven't moved it.
No, you're gaslighting us right now, good sir. I ain't falling for it.
I wouldn't know if I moved it.
It's okay. I've watched Saint Seiya. I'm not a huge fan of it, honestly. I tried to get through it, and I just
clearly you don't even recognize Pisces Aphrodite.
Yeah, I didn't. So let me be clear. Don't get it twisted. I've never gotten past like the first arc because I just thought it was too boring. And then when somebody told me that, oh, you gotta watch the anime for Saint Seiya because the manga is so much worse, I was like, there's no way. And so I just ended up avoiding it entirely. So there's I have a big lag.
Like they are the betrayers of their groups. That's like the big thing.
Does he have a rose motif? Because he has a rose in his mouth. That's the first thing that stood out to me.
There's rose petals in the background.
Yeah. Although Marluxia's always had the cherry blossoms thing, but I do like the flower aesthetic.
Okay, so he does have like a flower thing. So that's cool. They both have a flower motif. They both are the betrayers of their groups. Yeah. They both look fucking fabulous.
Yeah. Like they are both rocking like the effeminate man thing. Like they look fabulous. Like I'd be interested in researching researching for this character, because this does seem like a good matchup on the surface.
And I would love to do Marluxia, honestly. He's one of my favorite, low-key, one of my favorite organization members.
Oh yeah, same here.
And one of my favorite data fights, honestly.
Oh yeah, the mechanic cool. Where it's like you just have a timer over your head and literally watching your own life tick down, like that is evil.
I mean, it's just a mechanic of Final Fantasy. This is another one I don't quite understand.
Kind of understand it.
Kind of vibes, though.
Explain more to me. It's been so long since I played Chrono Trigger.
I mean, Magus is like, he's kind of portrayed as like the big bad before you realize the big bad is actually Lavos. But he's like the traditional evil bad guy of a JRPG that joins your team because he doesn't want the world to end. But he's kind of like, I guess like the idea is that Magus was going to try to like use power, but then like realize he couldn't. So they're comparing that to Marluxia trying to take over Organization 13, I guess.
Yeah. And like trying to use Sora as a puppet, but then failing to do so. So I can kind of see it. Scythe wielding antagonist.
I don't know why, but there's something about it where I'm like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, have I been saying his name wrong the whole time? I thought it was Marluxia.
No, I think you're right, and I'm wrong.
Oh, okay. I'm so bad with names, apparently. I really am the Sam of this.
I don't know if that's the case. I think I might be, based on how confidently I've been wrong multiple times.
I was confidently wrong earlier, so...
And they both have Scythes, so that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Magus does
I'd love just to have a Scythe matchup.
We cannot overlook the connection of an oddly specific weapon.
Of course. They both have red on their bodies. Oh no, that's pink. Never mind. I'm a fucking liar.
Fake fan. Get him out of here.
The fuck is this?
I'm with Saul. What is this?
Hey, well, why have we reached the bottom of the barrel? Yeah.
We're like right at the end. Just so you know, Saul's getting tired.
It feels like the bottom of the barrel.
I was doing it in terms of how important the Kingdom Hearts characters are. So I was like, Ericus, I feel like is not that important. So let's put him at the bottom. I get the kind of thing they were going for. I don't think I know enough about new Star Wars to fully understand the connections, though.
Luke is such a boring character to bring on.
Yeah, like the connections are the connections are great. They're both like jaded mentors that end up making like a crucial mistake when raising their student, unintentionally pushing them towards the darkness, and then realizing too late, and then passing away before being able to like meaningfully bring them back. But like, here's the thing. If we want to bring Luke Skywalker on the show, why would we choose this version?
I mean,
that's where I'm at.
I kind of feel like Luke's opponents are a little strange.
Why would we ever try and bring Luke onto the show?
Is he that annoying to try to work with? Because I've seen a bunch of matchups. I just never really vibed with any of them. Like, the one that was in the TOC. Saber. I was like, interesting. Is there more to it? You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like there's a lot of petering out that happens at a certain point with a lot of
this matchup feels like it sucks a lot.
There are also beacons of light to the people close to them that got lost in the darkness. Like that?
You know who I really want to see on Death Battle and Versus in general? Master Ericus. Like, no.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. He doesn't really do much on screen. I don't know.
He doesn't. Neither does really old Luke if you're going by new timeline stuff.
But we can't say shit because we're using Kara.
That was your fault. You literally dictate the rules of your own versus show. Don't act like you didn't put these chains on yourself.
Listen, I said, hey, what you guys want to see? I gave them 4. They told me the 4 they wanted to see.
I think Kara makes
but why? Yeah, no, but you run
put it on the poll.
You run the versus show. You decide how this works. This is entirely a grave you've dug.
To be fair, though, I do see, and I know you guys agree, except for maybe Sherm. I see ways you can make Kara work, honestly.
What? I don't agree. What do you mean?
You'll see when
don't lump me in with you. Being like, I think Kara can work. Don't let me in.
I said the only person who agrees with me was Sherm. How is that lumping you in?
Oh yeah, I thought you said the only person who disagrees is Sherm.
No, I think Saul's right. I think Plime said it wrong.
Oh, did I say it wrong?
Yeah, I think you said it wrong. Don't lump me in with you.
Because I was about to say, why am I being excluded? I feel like I'm the only one who's trying to. Why am I being excluded?
I think when me and Sherm have our call, I think we're gonna come up with a lot of good ideas. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, let's move on from this one. This is the last one. It's Heartless versus Personas, or sorry, Shadows from Persona.
This is funny.
I thought it was a fun way to end, so I put this here.
This is so dumb, but like this is kind of fun.
It's dumb in a good way, I think. There's no way to actually do the research on this, I don't think, just because of how many variants of everything there are. But
you probably could do research on it. It just would take a while.
It'd take a long time.
I have a question, because I'm genuinely curious about something. Like, does the main villain of like Persona 3 have like a connection to the Shadows of Tartarus?
I don't know.
Because if so, I could see this being like a good fight between Ansem and whoever that is.
What like?
But I haven't played Persona 3, so I don't know if such a character exists.
What Heartless would you want in this fight? Like,
honestly, like my favorite Heartless in general. Obviously, you need to have Darkseid.
Do we cover TF2 Medic versus Kingdom Hearts Donald yet? I told Paul I wasn't gonna add it, and I didn't.
Thank you.
Is that a flare? Debate over. Anyway, but I'd also want. I forget what they're called, but those night ones that appear a lot in Hollow Bastion and Kingdom Hearts. The
only thing that I think may like be weird in terms of fight potential is all of the gummy Heartless. Because you have the stuff like the fortresses and the Omega Machine and stuff like that. Do we
those existed.
They're not too different from the Tron Heartless, to be fair.
Do we is it like a bunch of Heartless and then we have to put Scar in here because Scar becomes a Heartless in his Kingdom Hearts 2 boss fight?
Scar and
Scar, it would be Scar and Clayton pulling up against like with
and we have the
Scar,
hang on, actually really good question.
Hans from Flippin' Frozen.
Would we include Ansem here because he's a Heartless?
Ooh. I think you would.
No, that's what Zora was saying. It's like, what if it was like an army fight and Ansem was on one end controlling the Heartless?
Yeah. I don't know if like the villain from Persona 3 has like a similar control. I assume so, since like the whole point of the game is to like ascend this giant tower and make through all the floor. So I have to assume that there's someone on top that's kind of like in charge of things.
I'm assuming. I don't really know much about the Shadows, but the Heartless have like really varied here, especially when you include like the Gummy Heartless, who are entire floating bases. You know.
I mean, there are a lot of Personas. The Shadows basically take the form of like the Personas you can like.
Oh, actually, I do. There's actually one Heartless who I think may absolutely stomp you. Phantom.
Which one's Phantom?
Oh, yeah.
He's the Neverland one, the one who just instantly kills you.
Neverland. Oh, the one in the clock tower. Yeah.
Yeah, the clock tower.
certain boss shadows are immune to instant death, so.
But like that would wipe out a majority of the big arm. There's also the one in the desert, Kurt Ziza, the one in Agrabah, who like shuts down all of your magic.
Oh yeah, that is hard. That is a harder stomp.
Oh god! I just realized the ground shaker would be here. You know the big one from the Pride Lands.
Yeah, that was the one that came to mind as soon as I heard this one. I was like, "That's fucking hilarious."
And the giant UFO one from the Toy Story one would be here too.
Oh, and the Grim Reaper from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
I'm just saying,
the one who's just immortal.
I'm just saying, Kurt Ziza is named that because of a competition. Imagine your surprise if you were playing Kingdom Hearts back in the day and you got to this big Heartless, it was Tristan Michael. Like, that'd be crazy. Yeah, because the only reason he's named that is because it was like a mail-in competition for fucking Square Enix. And I'm just like, imagine we get there, it's Saul. Like, my favorite boss in Kingdom Hearts is Saul.
Hey, I would be everyone's favorite boss. What other bosses are in here? You have the Illuminator, the one who shows up with Barbossa. The Cage, the Parasite Cage.
Yeah.
The Trick Master, the Behemoths, the Volcanic and Blizzard Lord, the Storm Rider, like you said, the UFO, the tree one.
Oh gosh, what was the Ice Wolf called? The one that Hans turns into?
Yeah, I know what one you're on about. Oh, the big vulture in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, the dragon thing from Mulan.
I also think like the Heartless kind of have an advantage here, in my opinion, with like support as well because of all of the Nocturne. I'm thinking the Green Requiems.
You're right, because they can passively heal each other throughout the fight.
Yeah.
Do we know how many Heartless exist?
Oh, there's
like,
also the
species or like sheer quantity.
Because one of their arguments in Bowser Eggman is that Bowser's army was in like the millions or something like that.
I don't think we have a number on Heartless. Also, Heartless kind of have a really good advantage here where they can't be killed unless you have something that negates regeneration. Like the Keyblade does. And also the fact they can just rip people's hearts out from like being near them. Like, it's crazy, you know?
I don't think that's true.
I do.
Because other characters, including Tifa with her bare hands, are able to kill Heartless.
But it's kind of... No, because literally...
They can't.
358.
They can't release the hearts like the Keyblade can, but they can still defeat what's in front of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
disagree. Donald and Goofy would be worthless during the entire game.
What other stuff would be here? Yeah, this is a funny one to end on.
Oh, and there's one other big stomp for the Heartless that we're ignoring, and that's the fact that I forget what it's called, but you know that swirling tornado of shadows.
Oh,
that thing, like,
the Demon
soloed. Yeah, that thing. It soloed the entirety of like the Warriors of Light, so like
because hang on,
they scaled to Sora.
I might be cooking here because it was possessed by the Heartless. Do we give the Heartless the Cave of Wonders?
You can get really happy with it.
Better by the minute.
We could keep going with this all day.
Yeah.
In the middle of the fight, Sora shows up and summons Chicken Little.
Peek.
No, but he does it as a shadow because Sora was a Heartless for like 0.5 seconds.
Oh yeah, that is true. I'm assuming like the shadows have a lot to keep up with this. I'd be very surprised if the shadows have nothing to keep up with all of this. It's just I don't think any of us are too knowledgeable on Persona.
Yeah, like, I played Persona 5, so I'm familiar, but I know that they will interpret, like, certain mythological beings differently between games. Like, I know Loki was something you could collect in Persona 3, but then became, like, a main boss persona in Persona 5, so you'd have to do a deep dive over, like, the variations in Persona 3 just to get a gauge on what these guys are capable of. But considering Shin Megami Tensei scaling, I have to assume that it's not as one-sided as we're making it out to be.
It's definitely not one-sided, but no one really knows about Persona yet.
I've played Persona 4, I attempted 5, I played a little bit of 3. That's my knowledge.
Yeah, I'm currently pinging questions about the Shadows back and forth with my boyfriend because I know he's played Persona 4. I'm like, are the Heartless strong? Are the Shadows strong? This is a funny one to end on, but like if Prime came to us and said the army battle we're doing for us is Shadows versus Heartless, you would actually see a public execution.
Speaking of which, Saul, do we live? Have we earned the right to keep going?
No.
Oh. Well, it's been fun, guys.
No. That was fun. I'm in the stream.
That was fun.
Oh, we're dead. You have to sign the video out now because we can't talk anymore.
Yep. Bye.
Bye, everyone.